The data got done that I put. I've Lena, I have received your message. It is loud and clear. Lena says it is good we share the same experience. I don't know what that meant, but if you are talking about data, I'm going to demand for my data. The college has not paid the data which we used during your exams. I don't know, because I was doing fast enough, I'm just buying for day, and I'm not using the Paka or those promotions. I'm just paying 2,000, I buy 300 MBs. So I've loaded another 300 MBs, but please also notice that I'm using video. I think that is why it gets done so quickly. Yeah, buying work from home is what I wanted, but I forgot the code. Gloria, you can type the code for work from home here, and everybody knows there is that option. It is what I wanted to put in the morning. You buy, is it 1,500, buys 1 GB, something like that. But I did not use it before. And now, and now I've learned. I'll try to use it. So let me just wind up. And Lynette now, okay. But it will be temporary. I'll load, and then we will no longer look alike. So Chiza BCJ video recording, and the man who made his name, I was still asking you in the chat what the problem is with the other title, and nobody had responded other than those who want to govern. Those who want to govern with me, hey, for me, you share with me when you are giving me a GP and above, then we shall govern. Can anyone identify the problem in the other title? Anybody quickly? Even in the second example, there is a problem in the other title that we need to fix. I want you to type. Nobody is typing, so I identify it. Number 1, space, colon space is okay, but this T is supposed to be capitalized. Likewise, M in murder is supposed to be capitalized. Why? Earlier today, and that is where I'm moving to, we saw that we capitalize the first word of title proper, an alternative title, or parallel title. Capitalize other words, including the first word of each element of title information. So basing on that, then we need to capitalize those other titles. Video recording, of course, moves away. We insert area O there, and the term to use is image. Just like video recording, motion picture will also use image. I would quickly put that there, such that you see how our area O would look like. Image will be there, which means that this motion picture wouldn't be there. And then this will be a capital M. Where? I don't see how I draw that capital M. I wanted to draw for you, not even drawing. This is a capital M. So it was initially small, it is supposed to be capital, and also this T is supposed to be capital. Raru is the title proper. There is no parallel title, then we go to other title after space, colon space. Mada in Namongo is the title, the other title rather. So I remove those writings and conclude. If the title proper needs an explanation, supply a brief addition as other title info in the language of the title proper. So we shall get publications where if you don't include other title information, it may not be clear. For instance, Conference on Homosexuality in Uganda. So when you look at the title proper, it can only be made clear if we add other title information, and in this case, proceedings is the other title information, but since it wasn't on the material, we enclose it in square brackets. So this is other title information, which tries to explain what the title proper is. And that is what is given in this statement. If title proper needs an explanation, supply a brief addition. I've been ignoring the messages on the phone, but the messages were the ones warning me that 80% of your data is done. So I'll keep checking on the phone. Next is statements of responsibility. Now this is subfield C. Subfield A was title proper, subfield B was parallel title, and the other title. Subfield C now is statements of responsibility. In other words, we need to record who wrote the book if it is a book. And this is still in subfield 245. It might not have shown here, but it's still subfield, rather field 245. Statements of responsibility that appear prominently in an item are recorded as they appear, and they are separated from the title. GMD no longer applies, preceding them by a space/space. Statements of responsibility that do not come from the chief source of information must be enclosed in square brackets. Quick examples. And then there is always the possibility of disappearing altogether. These things were written a long time ago, but when you read them, it is as if they are referring to yesterday. And then there is always the possibility of disappearing altogether. Ignore the GMD because it will appear here as area or image. But what we are dealing with now is the statement of responsibility. Leave a space, /space, pegatellon, that is the statement of responsibility. In the next example, map of East Africa, space, /space. Now this is a map, it is not a book. So for maps, you can see the words they use: mapped, edited, and published by the Geological Survey. This is a company. Individuals don't map because it is an expensive exercise. So when you are mapping East Africa, you need planes to do that. So this company mapped, they also edited and published that map. So that is the statement of responsibility. How is it given? Space, /space. And if no statement of responsibility appears, if no statement of responsibility appears prominently in the item, neither construct one nor extract one from the content of the item. Give the relevant info in a note. In other words, they are telling you, if there is no statement of responsibility appearing in the item you are cataloging, don't start constructing one. Don't even extract one from the content of the item. They tell you give the relevant information in a note. If you have known that this material was done by Michael Jackson, put that in the note area. Don't put it in the statement of responsibility. And the example attributed to Michael Jackson, there's a second one based on the novel by Thomas Seger. Third one inspired by themes from the music of Rubber Dubber. So these are examples of possible statements of responsibility, but included in a note or in the note area, not in the statement of responsibility area. Often an information package names more than 3 persons or corporate bodies that have all performed the same function or have had the same degree of responsibility for the work. If there are 3 such persons or bodies, all are given in the statement of responsibility. Last semester, we saw how we handle joint authors who are 3, and this is emphasizing if there are 3 such persons or bodies, all of them are given in the statement of responsibility. And how do we give them? We use commas. You give the first one, apply a comma, second one, comma, and give the third one. However, if there are more than 3, the more than 3 we saw this semester, only the first person or corporate body of each group is listed. If there are more than 3 authors, we give the first one. The rest we omit using this punctuation device. The omission of the others is indicated by the omission mark and et al. I've had a message on my phone. As we read that example, studies, I hope it is not a data message. It isn't. It says, studies in homosexuality by Martin Semper. So you'll notice that Martin Semper is one of the authors, but he did this with other people. And this is the subsequent statement of responsibility where we use a space, semicolon, space, with the collaboration of born-again churches. And because there are many, there are more than 3, we gave one, and the rest have been eliminated using this punctuation device, the omission mark and et al. Multiple statements of responsibility, for instance, different kinds of responsibility for a work, are transcribed in the order in which they appear in the information source, and they are separated from each other by space, semicolon, space. That is when we have multiple. You have author, you have editor, you have illustrator. Those are multiple statements of responsibility. And in this example, looking backwards is the title proper. Maria is the author, but there's someone who translated. Before the translator, the punctuation device is a space, semicolon, space, translated from Swahili by Wanjiku K. So that is the second type of statement of responsibility. Then there is the third one, because this is a space, semicolon, space, with an introduction by Michael Gobi. So Maria wrote, Wanjiku translated, and then Michael Gobi wrote the introduction. So that is an example of multiple statements of responsibility, which is more or less subsequent statement of responsibility. We shall be getting publications of that kind, and that is how we shall handle. Allow me stop the lecture at this point, because what I was going to introduce is to do with the people who have their titles. Some of you are called Sir Alex Ferguson. Some of you are Navagerekas. And some of you are kings. So those are the titles of address, honor, and distinction. Some of you have qualifications, very big qualifications. How do we handle those ones? That is where I intend to begin from. And I also need to apologize for today. You have seen, and Elena is happy. I've also tested what she goes through. She's assuming I don't have data issues. I have them, but it is just that it is today you have seen or you have been part of the experience. Data is an issue, especially when you are working from home. I don't have access to that wireless, which is free. So when we begin next, I'll start from most titles of address, honor, and distinction. What do we do? There are 4 exceptions. How we shall be handling that. Where do we leave the title and when do we omit it? So I'll begin from there when we meet tomorrow. Depending on the situation in campus, I sent you that picture of the congestion at the main gate. They have refused to open other gates, and that kind of situation is also risky. So depending on the situation tomorrow, I intend to go to campus, and then we shall not have those interruptions because of that. Alternatively, I have seen in the chat how you can get more GBs. Gloria says process *165 very many digits there. I don't know whether it is for Tugavane or it's for buying. Then it's *150 *19 by Mobiru. So that information is useful to your colleagues also. If you want to get a GB at 2000, it works for TSD. Okay, I'll end the lecture today. Let us meet tomorrow. Keep safe. Avoid crowded areas. You have seen people are bitter. They don't no longer mind getting blown up with many others. So have a nice day and keep safe. I'm waiting for you to log out and then I end the lecture. Chandi, you are raising your hand. What is it? 2 participants, you are raising your hands. And I'm not sure if you are indeed intending to raise the hands. Chandi, I've allowed you to talk. I don't think you were talking. Chandi, you are allowed to talk. Maybe it was in error.
Sir?
Yes.
The videos on Muel are not opening. I tried to open. I wanted to go through some examples, but they're not opening. What can I do?
You change the format of the videos. I could not change them for you because the laptop produces those videos in that file format. But changing the format of a file is not complicated. Just convert them to the format that is compatible with your gadget. Especially if you are using a phone, it might not work. So you need to use a computer and then you change the file format. I hope that answers your query. Clear? So now I'm closing the meeting for all. Gloria, you have gone mute. Gloria, did you get my response? Yes, I've responded to Gloria. So I'm closing the meeting.